We are here with the Ford F-150 Lightning Laureate Launch Edition. With the standard range battery, and it's also the only F-150 Lightning that is officially available in Norway. I was super lucky to be able to lend this car from Ford Motor directly in Norway. Yeah, it's enormous. That's my first impressions, and now I'm going to drive it for the first time and you will see my perspective. I have never driven such a large truck or car, so this will be super exciting. I just picked it up, and the first thing we are going to do is drive it all the way from Oslo, where we are now, to Bergen. And Bergen is around 400 kilometers from here. We will try to charge it on the way, just to test the charging. It's rebuilt for CCS2, so we have the ability to charge at normal chargers here in Norway. Tesla chargers and all other chargers, which is awesome. We are going to test it in rough conditions. There is a storm coming, it's starting now, it's getting super windy. It will snow in the mountains that we are driving through. Let's hope the roads are open and not closed. I've heard some horror stories already, so let's just get going. I want to get into this comfortable machine. We are resetting trip 1 so that we are off to a fresh start. Okay, so I have mounted the camera and let's try to drive this thing. So from my perspective, this is a very large vehicle, but I know that in America this is the most sold vehicle every year, and that the Americans consider this a normal pickup or a full-size pickup. It's a little bit bouncy right now since we are actually driving on a dirt road kinda with some bumps and ice, and yeah, it feels comfortable, very comfortable, so that's nice. The steering is super light. I don't require any force at all compared to my Model Y. I know the Model Y rear-wheel drive that I've tried is particularly bad. That's the fastest blinker sound I've ever heard. I'm not used to driving Fords either, so many of the things I'll mention is just Ford stuff. Okay, I forgot to activate one pedal driving. I know it's possible, but we will get through the settings as we drive across the mountains, and by the end of the trip I should have learned most of the things that are important with this vehicle. I get a lot of looks here in Norway when driving this vehicle. It's completely new. I'm one of the first ones, first journalists to test this car. That's a comically fast blinker sound. Holy. Let's stop talking about the blinker sound and talk about the driving experience. And I'm not here to review the driving experience since many people have done that, and it drives like a Ford F-150 or so I've heard, with an electric powertrain of course, which in my opinion just elevates the experience. It's a truck for sure, and it's large. The largest vehicle I have driven is probably the Kia EV9, and this is significantly larger than that one. An interesting experience to drive this car in Norway. I've been to America many times before, and you can see that you have the F-150s and the Silverados everywhere, and they look normal. But when you place this vehicle in Norway, it's enormous. You feel like you drive on both lane markings when you drive this in Norway. It's pretty wide, for sure. Anyways, I'm going to talk about why does it have the standard range battery in Norway, and that's because of weight limits. You start to creep up on the weight limits where you require a truck driver's license, which is super expensive, needs to be renewed every 5 years, I think, and it's much more cumbersome. So they placed the standard range battery in the officially imported ones, and that's fine. I think it seems like this is more than enough range for a truck here in Norway because of the low speed limits. Of course, you never say no to more range, but it has a VLTP range of 429 kilometers, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so that's why the standard range battery is offered. So this car is built in the United States. It's shipped to Köln in Germany, where it's rebuilt with a CCS2 port, and the connectivity is updated and the radio is updated so that you can use it in Norway. And it's an official import, so you will get all the warranty and stuff in Norway. It's quite expensive. You can buy 3 Model Ys for the price of this trim, this truck, but I'm not going to compare it to Tesla anymore throughout any of my videos on it, because this is a truck and Tesla doesn't offer a truck in Norway or in Europe. And there are no other electric trucks on the market right now, aside from the Maxus T90, which I've heard horror stories about, and it's not really a pair in this category of truck. So this is alone on the market. Like the ID Bus, when I reviewed the ID Bus, I said the positives and the negatives, but that it also doesn't have any competitors. And that's the same case with this one. It doesn't have any competitors. It's already, from just my little driving impressions, testing the infotainment, everything on, I have a lot to learn. Wow, now it's snowing. But I can already tell that this is the best electric truck on the market, since it's going against the Maxus and it's not really up there. It's unfortunate that it's only the expensive trim that's available in Norway. A lot of people in Norway actually use their trucks for work-related stuff. And of course the comfort features are nice, but it's not a priority when buying trucks in Norway. And I think Ford did the right thing entering the Norwegian market with electric trucks early. Because yeah, we are the EV country of the world. It's where everyone looks to when they try to predict EV adaptation. So it's very nice to have the F-150 Lightning available in Norway. This trim is not only expensive because it's imported and rebuilt and stuff, but it's expensive for Norwegians as well. This price is expensive for us that live in Norway. Of course, if you want an electric truck and you have the money to spare, there is no doubt this is the one to go for. It's very nice, and I can say that from my impression so far. And then there might be Tesla with the Cybertruck. I'm kinda doubting that they will try to enter the European market with that truck. Rivian is working on some cool stuff, and they have already said that they will enter the Norwegian market. And then there are other automakers that also might be wanting to make a large truck. We have a lot of small trucks here in Norway. We have the Ford Ranger and the Toyota Hilux, which are smaller than this one. But now I'm talking about proper full-size trucks. So yeah, it's a little bit large for the Norwegian market, but those that use it and need a large truck, there are always some. It's a nice product. So yeah, I am super curious to test how the range works. I have navigated to Leira Supercharger, which is a Tesla supercharger. And you Americans, if you're watching, you will soon get your NACS adapters, and you will be able to experience the same things that I am able to experience at every Tesla supercharger today. Yeah, I have so much more to talk about this truck, but I just wanted to get out early in the video that the first impressions are good. They are great, actually. I'm looking forward to testing out this car more and getting out the strength and the weaknesses of this truck, and see if it's if it's fit for Norwegian use cases, which is now driving from Oslo to Bergen, the two largest cities in Norway, which require a mountain pass. In case you were wondering, we are running Nokian Hakkapeliitta R5 SUV tires, which are some awesome studless winter tires. Proud American truck. This one is kind of funny. Here is our route. Like you can see that we will take, this is to the supercharger in Leira here. And we should arrive with around 45% according to this one. So I'm trying to learn the navigation system. It's all new for me here. I think if you press the car, you'll get... Oh, it's the correct color. It's the antimatter blue one. We are at 84% state of charge. Everything is in Norwegian. I could set it to English. I'll figure out how to do that later. Let's do this, and 3D map. That's nice. Efficiency has increased, and we are now only using 280 watt-hour per kilometer, or 28 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. It has only been tracking for 41 minutes, so yeah, we have a long way to go. So now it's kind of like a boring stretch, so might just turn off the camera a little bit, and then I'll be back on in a second. Pre-collision assist not available, sensor blocked. That happened right now. That's just due to the snow, really. It's very snowy outside. So here are our current stats, 280 watt-hour per kilometer. We have driven for 2 hours and 44 minutes, 164 kilometers so far. Okay, we are fast charging, and we currently get the rate of 110 kilowatts, and it's difficult to say what is the cause of this exact number, but it's fine at this state of charge. It's just we are at 45%. We are just stopping here. I need to go to the bathroom, and I'll try to do a more scientific test later, but it's nice to see that it works on these superchargers. So now I'm going to show you how I'm parked to make this possible. So I'm parked like this on the outside, so I'm only using one spot right there. We are at 76%, 77%. That's fast enough for us. We will get on our way very soon. I bought some snacks and some drinks. I'm still trying to learn this car, but I got it to show arrival state of charge, 25% at Gudvangen, which is our next and last charging stop. So 2 charging stops, pretty short ones. You could do it in one, no problem, but that will be a very long charging stop from Oslo to Bergen, it seems. But between here and there is a storm, and there is forecasted a massive amount of snow and low visibility, slippery roads, so we might use more than that conservative estimate says. But I'm not sure. I don't know this car. I still got some stuff to do with the camera, so I'll just stay here until I'm finished with that, and then I'll be able to just get on my way as soon as possible. I also have Apple CarPlay working, which is pretty nice, but I prefer to have EV route planning, and it's not available in Norway yet for Apple Maps and Google Maps, I think. So I need to use the navigation that's let's see here, which is the onboard navigation to be able to see the arrival state of charge. 27% it says now. We are past 80% and yeah, in this car you will start to throttle like crazy after 80%, so yeah, we will just leave when I have set up the camera. We have charged to 85% and we are now ready to go. So I placed the camera so that you can see a little bit outside, like this maybe. So let's just tune everything. You can see the cockpit. This is a large car for Norwegian curbs, but it's completely fine. We have the location dialed in. Oh, a Volvo EX30. That's awesome. Wow. So many awesome cars today. Oh wow, let's hope the camera doesn't fall down. Okay, so the car collects water on the roof. That's interesting. And the camera fell down. Nice. Okay, we drove from the charging station. There was chaos there, a lot of people that wanted to charge. I think I found the best position to not take up more spots than needed, since there already was a Mercedes actually blocking my, not mine, but the other stall that Tesla could have taken. Anyways, I'll just sum up our statistics. So for this entire trip, our average efficiency is 280 watt-hour per kilometer. That's pretty good efficiency actually for such a large truck. I would say that I expected a little bit more so far. We haven't climbed all that much yet, but a little bit. And it has been really inefficient weather. Yeah, our trip has been 3 hours and we have just gone 170 kilometers. But this trip meter also counts charging stops, the eating stops and stuff like that, which the Tesla one doesn't, if I remember correctly. So yeah, it has been a very slow drive, so that might give us a better efficiency, of course. But yeah, it feels like it drains slowly. It doesn't feel like a low-range car like the BMW i3. It feels much better. Actually, I think the WLTP estimates is reachable in the summer for this car. And WLTP is overly optimistic in most cases. In this case, I think it might reach WLTP figures in the summer. So that's pretty nice. That's just an estimation based on the consumption right now. This car doesn't have a heat pump. It only has a PTC heater that reduces the ability to take hot air from find hot air in the air outside and then recirculate it into the system to make it more efficient. But it has a pretty powerful PTC heater. I tried the defroster a couple of times when it was really wet outside and we run into tunnel. You need to use the defroster to not get the car fogged up. And what is this guy doing? Holy shit. That's an e-Golf. He can't make it up there for sure. That car is terrible at getting up places. I have tried. Anyways, yeah. So the efficiency is a little bit better than expected, 280 watt-hour per kilometer. Yeah, you can just calculate what the range would be at this, since the battery pack is 98 kilowatt hours usable. At least that's the information I got from Ford. Then you can just calculate the actual range in these conditions. But now we are climbing up into the mountains and that means lower efficiency. But it's not just that, it's windy and it's snowy. And I'm actually curious to see how this car does in conditions where full-on winter conditions, the worst kind of winter condition, because you have a little bit wet snow. Right now it's not slippery here because they have salted the road so bad. So yeah, it all turns into water immediately. So let's drive into the mountains and then let's see how this truck does. Can it handle Norwegian winter conditions? Is it good enough? Let's see. So far this car has been comfortable and the suspension is really soft, and I suspect it's the same as the normal F-150 since this car is based on the normal F-150. From what I've heard, the drivetrain is actually built in-house, and if so, that's very impressive that they don't buy third-party for their drivetrain for the F-150. I know they buy third-party motors and stuff for the Mustang Mach-E. It's built in Mexico. This one is built in the United States, and from what I've heard, they developed and produces the drivetrain themselves with 2 permanent magnet motors, if I understand correctly. So that's very nice to see that Ford does it this way. Not all automakers does make their own drivetrain for new electric cars, especially if they have been making combustion for a long time and don't have the expertise. I saw it in the section, the settings menu everywhere here. It's a lot of options for a lot of different things, especially if you're towing. Yeah. So I'm glad to see Ford actually giving a proper attempt. When they do a proper attempt at something, me as a reviewer or, I don't know, car tester, or I don't know what I'm doing, just driving around, but I get more excited about the product and I really want to test it when they give a proper attempt. They did attempt to make a fantastic electric truck, and they did. It's a fantastic electric truck so far. No issues, no annoying beeping, which I was afraid of. It's just the door sound, you know, the Ford door sound, which is annoying. Aside from that, not much beeping. Sensors get clogged up and it'll tell me immediately when it's snowing, but that's the same on every car I have tested almost. The Tesla actually is pretty good at snow and not getting, but because it uses heated cameras. But I'm not going to give Tesla too much credit since they removed ultrasonic sensors. So yeah, aside from that, it works nicely. The charge port, I got to try it right now when charging. It's manual. That's perfectly fine. I like a manual door for the charge port. That's fine. It has covers for the AC part and the DC part. The DC part is a little flap that you flip out. That's fine. The cover for the AC part, oh, I wish they just cut it off. Take the risk, come on. It sucks. Yeah, because it's kind of, when you buy the car, maybe you don't want to do it yourself because you feel like you are avoiding some kind of warranty or something. I don't know. Just stupid little stuff. Hope it can be like the Model S for trucks in Norway and show that trucks can look normal, like this one does, pretty normal. It looks kind of cool with the light bar and everything, but it looks normal. It has good enough range. It has good enough technology. It's comfortable. And yeah, you can show that trucks can be electric and work normally and work very good from day to day, especially in Norway with low speed limits and stuff. This truck, sorry, I always call it a car, but I call everything a car. But yeah, so it can be some kind of Model S moment for Norway, because Model S was, and the Nissan Leaf also, but Nissan Leaf wasn't nearly as cool as the Model S when it came out. The Model S showed that electric cars can look normal. Now this one shows that electric trucks can look normal and they have proper range and technology. This one can tow 3,500 kilograms. That beats every other electric car that's available in Europe. And that's pretty amazing, since the Model X by Tesla and the BMW iX, I think those are the two that can tow the most, at around 2,500 kilograms, 2,250 maybe for the Model X. This one can do 3,500, and that's more than any other electric truck on the market. So people who actually have a need for towing heavy stuff, which is a lot of people in Norway tow in general, not that many tow heavy stuff, but yeah, there are enough people that do that as well. And yeah, this car will be their only choice, and it's a great choice, so that's pretty nice. As far as the width goes for Norwegian roads, this car is wide, but Norwegian roads are not that narrow when you're talking about driving between major cities. It's more like out on the countryside and stuff, you get really narrow roads. Or in some cities, in Bergen, you will get super narrow roads where this car, this truck might not even fit. But we also have to remember that we have a lot of wide cars on the roads. We have a lot of motorhomes are very popular in Norway, and for tourists that arrive in Norway. And those can be as wide or wider as an F-150. So I wouldn't worry about not getting places. It's more just a consideration that it might be uncomfortable to drive in the cities and such. But at least it's electric, so no local emissions from this truck, which is fantastic. Just something I want to mention about the sound isolation. It's pretty good. It's I would say a little bit better than my Model 3, but not. It's actually less than I expected. It's quite noisy. And the tires are studless winter tires with, I believe, foam isolation, so it shouldn't be the tires. Especially the wheel arches. They, when you get water or rocks up into it, you will hear it extremely well in the cabin. Not something I experienced on my Model 3, so yeah, that was kind of surprising. I thought it would be quieter than it is, but of course, it is pretty quiet, and especially low, surprisingly low wind noise when it's windy like crazy. I was just outside taking some pictures, and it's super windy, so let's just drive and see how it goes. We are now up on the mountain, and we got an average efficiency of 290 watt-hour per kilometer, so that's pretty good. That's for the whole trip, of course. It decreased because we are going up, but it didn't decrease as much as I thought, so pretty efficient considering the platform this truck is on. The gasometer says 177 kilometers left until we are at the chargers. It's 107 kilometers to the chargers, so it should be fine. I like that you can see the gasometer and the estimated kilometers until the charger at the same place. That's pretty nice. Now we are driving up, and you can see that the gasometer will go lower and lower and lower. And that's the problem with the gasometer, is that it might say that we might not make it actually, but I know that we will make it because we are going down on the other side of the mountain. But the gasometer doesn't know that, and that's the problem with the gasometer. I had the exact same problem in the ID bus. Doesn't seem to be any problems in the snow for this F-150 Lightning. It's four-wheel drive and it has Nokia and Hakkapeliitta R5 SUV EV tires, and that seems like a killer combination. I don't notice any slip at all, and yeah. This car feels super solid in winter conditions. I must say I'm pretty impressed considering the weight of the vehicle. Of course that helps, but it can be a bad thing too, with too much weight when you are in turns, for example, and it's super slippery and we don't have studded tires. But this truck feels fantastic in winter conditions. And here it's really bad as well. Look at all the snow, and the visibility is very low. Okay, we are at Gudevangen Supercharger, so we are going to charge here. And then we need to select our stall. 143, 144. That's pretty nice actually. Keep in mind that this is the standard range battery, so the maximum is 150. Okay, off we go. But first, the statistics, since we have driven for actually, let's say, 6 hours. We have driven for 6 hours and we have around 2 hours more to go. And yeah, 270 watt-hour per kilometer. That's pretty good efficiency. We have driven just 350 kilometers, but you know this route takes so much time for no reason. Well, there is a reason, but yeah. Anyways, it was perfect parking here at the Tesla Supercharger, since we have the charge port on the opposite side than in America for the F-150, since it's rebuilt in Germany. Since we need a new port, of course, since we use CCS2 here in Europe. Anyways, let's get to the point. I am able, when the chargers are located like it was on these ones, I am able to actually use one spot on the Tesla Supercharger. Since I have the charge port on the front right and Tesla has it in the rear left, I am able to just use one spot. That's pretty great actually. But that's only if they are in the configuration they were now. Perfect location. I don't know why they rebuilt the car with the charge port on the other side than in America. It seems like they thought that it should be able to charge better at supercharger locations, since right now I was able to just use one spot, which is awesome. That was never the case with the ID bus, for example, which has it in the rear right. And when you have it in the rear right, you will block two Tesla supercharger stalls. Yeah. This, of course, does not apply to the new ones with the longer cables, which will be rolled out everywhere as the years go. But there are still, the majority of the chargers are still V3 and some V2, and yeah, it's needed. The charge port placements actually matter. So I don't know, maybe they thought it was easier to rebuild this F-150 Lightning with the CCS2 port on the front passenger side. So let's summarize a little bit before we get to towards the end. 270 watt-hour per kilometer on this route is low efficiency, to be honest, if we compare it to the Model Y that I used. The Model Y was not half, but it was it used almost half the amount of energy to move the same distance. But this is a truck, and for such an aerodynamic shape that this car has, this is pretty good. We are actually closing in on e-tron levels, and the e-tron is just a normal SUV, or actually the space in the e-tron is kind of small for the size. It's actually quite a small car. I parked next to one with this one just now, and it looked like a tiny hatchback. So the efficiency of this truck is good. It's good for a truck and good for considering the shape of the truck. And most importantly, with a 98 kilowatt hour battery, the range is usable. It's a good range. So that's important to consider when buying a car. Does it actually work for you? That's more important than is it efficient, is it not? I don't know what metrics you should use on these trucks, since there are no other trucks like this one, at least in Europe. You get a little bit more efficiency with the Rivian, I've heard, but that's still low efficiency. The Cybertruck, low efficiency. So yeah, I guess you can gain a little bit efficiency, but yeah, it's a trade-off having a large truck, and then you need a larger battery. So having the standard range battery at around 100 kilowatt hours, and then the extended range at, I don't know, is it 130 kilowatt hours, something? Seems like two good options that will cover most people's needs. It's unfortunate that in Europe that you should really only get the standard range unless you want to register the truck as a truck. Because you lose a lot of benefits when you do that. And for example, the maximum speed limit, I think, is 90 kilometers per hour. And that sucks on the motorway, because this car is more than capable of going the maximum Norwegian speed limit. So I would consider trading off a little bit of range and getting the standard range, which is the only option through official channels, to actually get, if you need a truck, to get the standard range, to have it as registered as a car or personal car, to get the benefits of that. On the final stretch home, and yeah, we have driven for 7 hours and 47 minutes. Our average efficiency is 270 watt-hour per kilometer, and we have driven a total of 472 kilometers. To sum it up, this car has been fantastic over the mountain. It handles snow really well, and has just been awesome. 2 charging stops. I didn't time them, but I think we stopped around 20 minutes the first time, and then around 15 minutes the second time. Maybe the other way around. Anyways, a total of 35 minutes of charging. But it's not comparable to my other tests, since I always take different routes, and there is always roadworks and such. The car has been comfortable, and yeah, there will be more on this vehicle, so stay tuned.